So now that our Rails app is up on DigitalOcean, let's demonstrate adding a mailing list sign up button. And rather than using devise or omniauth or something like that, let's hook in Google Sign In with the Rails authenticator generator. So there's an authentication generator in Rails 8. It's awesome, and it reduces a lot of the dependencies that you might otherwise use. So we'll use Claude to do this for us. As per that earlier video, we're going to use Claude with the dangerously skipped permissions flag, which is okay because we've sandboxed our OSX account. And here's a prompt I prepared earlier, asking for some authentication functionality in this Rails app. And we're off and running. I'll come back to this video once it's done. Okay, that's all done. Let's spin up a server and see what it's created for us. Oh, we've got a mailing list button. Hey, that looks quite spiffy. Very nice. This one I entered earlier. It's got some authentication by the looks of things. I hope no one is Jason at jason.jason. Oh, cool. It's sent an email, giving me a success message saying that it sent me an email. This email sending, how did that happen? Take a look in the gem file. Oh, looks like it's added the letter opener gem. Fantastic. All right, so what happens if I try and to the wrong code, need the right format? I assume that's numbers. I seem to be able to enter 6 of them. Invalid code, great. Copy this one, paste it in. Hey, I've been signed in. That's terrific. And I've got a sign out button up here. Wonder what that looks like. We have a concept of a user now. We have a concept of a user now. And the email address looks like it's been hidden from me, but it is that email address I just entered. So how did that work? It's added some routes, verification code, sign in, verify, sessions controller. Oh, this is all the Rails authentication stuff. So how's it working? It's getting the email address, checking it exists, generating a verification code on a user model, which looks like, yep, cool, random number, saved, sending an email via this user's mailer to the user. All right, cool, that looked good. And then it's writing the session, which is the Rails authentication stuff. Terrific. All right, so we've got signing now. I guess the next step will be to probably commit that. Have a better look at it later. Keep moving. First cut, sign in. And let's add Google authentication to this. So we're going to need Google Cloud Services, Google Cloud Platform Services. I've just created an account and added a credit card to it, and it's not going to charge my card apparently, but I've got some free credit, $460 worth of credit. So the next thing I want to do is I want to hook into Google Cloud Platform and introduce a sign-in capability. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to create by Google Cloud's API and services an OAuth consent screen, which is the handshake for signing in with Google. Looks like we'll need to create an OAuth client, a web app. Done this for Android and iOS in the past also. Need to give it our website URL. So that we can whitelist the JavaScript that it's going to use. And I'm also going to give it our local development route URL as well with the port that we're using. Google will want a redirect URI to be whitelisted. So I'm going to use the route Google sign in. We're using omniauth or devise or something like that. This might need to be a different route. Create that. Oh, cool. So I've got a client ID I can use now. So I'm going to create something for that to live in. So let's say app models. Let's create something called, I don't know, Google sign in. That sounds good to me. Yep. Oh, it's got some ideas about this already based on what I've done in the past. All right, let's go with that. I'll just paste in the client ID that was just created. Cool. And so now in our sign in, on our sign in page, I guess, what we want is to add to this a way of signing in with the Google sign in instead of with our forms. So I'm going to take some code that I prepared earlier, I guess. Here's a Google sign in button bit of code. This is from Google's docs, but you give it this JavaScript here and you give it this HTML and it will create a sign in button for you. I've actually given it a client ID of this web client ID that I just got from the oauth thing. And I'm saying let's give it an argument also so that when it logs in, it'll redirect back to this Google sign in URL. So I'll probably need to create that. My routes file. There we go. Cursor remembers my practice run. Cool. So let's see what that looks like. Go back to my sign in page, sign out, join mailing list. Cool. I've got a Google sign in button. What happens if I click it? It's asking me if I want to sign in. Excellent. So if I hadn't have whitelisted that localhost 3005 route, then I guess this might not have worked so nicely. I would have got an error, but I did. So if I sign in and say, yep, the website wants access to name and profile picture and email address, continue. So the route doesn't exist on the sessions controller. Yep, fair enough. It looks like it did redirect back to my create from Google. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to create that new action. I've defined it already in here. Create for Google. And what I'm going to do in here is I'll just chuck a debugger in to begin with, show you what it looks like when you get one of these redirects back. So I'll continue. And oh, I didn't debug, didn't hook. No referrer. Oh yeah, this is Rails being very secure. I'm going to tell Rails that in the case of this create for Google action, we're actually going to skip the verification of an authenticity token because even though we can give Google a special argument and it can pass it back, it's kind of hard to hook it into Rails seamlessly. So I'm going to do that and try the handshake again. Continue. Let's see what happens. It seems to be doing something. Great, it's hit my debug point. So now if I debug params, oh well, I can see the params are here. This client ID, which is my one, and I've got this credential. This is this encrypted thing that I've got back. So I need to be able to, I need to do something with this params credential here. And I guess here's some code that I prepared earlier. I'm going to cheat a little bit, not type all this out. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say, all right, when this route is hit, I'm going to redirect back from Google. Let's instantiate this sign-in thing. And we're going to say if it's valid, let's create a user based on the email address that came back from Google. I'm just going to put a debugger statement in here. We'll see what it looks like in a bit. And we'll persist, let's create a Google user ID on the users table. Rails, generate migration, add Google user ID. That one. Oh, thanks, cursor. And then let's migrate. The column looks like I already created that in a previous iteration. Practicing for this video. All right, it's been added now. Reset the database and start it again. So we need an implementation for this as well. I'm also going to cheat on that one just to show you what's involved. I'm just going to put a valid method here, which will check the token that's been sent back, the web credential. And I'm going to refer to this thing, which I also created earlier on one of my other projects. Little ID token validator. And what does that look like? It's just, so this whole oauth protocol uses this JWT token way of doing handshakes. And this is some code I prepared earlier, but basically it talks to Google's certificate server and checks the public key and decodes the certificate, decodes the credential that's been sent back from Google. And if all that works well, fingers crossed, maybe we can see if this is working now. So go back, I'll hit continue again. It says I've successfully signed in. I mean, that's cool, but I thought I had a debugger statement in there somewhere. Was it? If the sign in is valid. Yeah, where's my debugger statement? I'll try restarting my server. I don't know why it would have not hit that. I'll say sign in with Google, please. Hit this. Require JWT. Yep, okay, so we probably need to add that gem to our gem file. Start it here. JWT. Google sign in. And all that. Might need to restart my server to pick up that. Try re-sending this request. Hit my breakpoint, that's terrific. So what have I got back from this? Cool. You can see the credential that I got back from Google, this params credential, which is just this big string here. I've sent it into my special Google sign-in model, and it's interpreted that that's actually associated, that credential is associated with this email address, this first name, this last name, this photo URL. So you can imagine you could persist all that stuff in your database. And great. Oh, well, we've got sign in with Google. Lovely.